Hi, for this video I am going to talk about defecation. First, I am going to explain the basic points of defecation. To start, we need to understand that the anal canal is a terminal part of the large intestine and of the entire digestive tract. It is 2.5 to 3.5 centimeters long and begins as the rectal ampulla narrows proximal to the puborectalis muscle. It ends up with the anus. The canal is surrounded by sphincters. It is normally collapsed until the passage of feces. The sphincters must relax before the defecation occurs. The internal anal sphincter is involuntary and it is surrounding the superior two-thirds of the anal canal. It has a circular muscle layer. When it contracts, the stimulation of this contraction is also maintained by sympathetic fibers from the superior rectal and hypogastric plexuses. The sphincter is tonically contracted to avoid leakage of fluid. It is temporarily relaxed after the distension of the rectal ampulla by feces or gas. The ampulla relaxes after initial distension and bonus returns until next peristalsis. The external anal sphincter forms a broad band on each side of the inferior two-thirds of the anal canal. It is attached to the perineal body and posteriorly to the coccyx via an acoccygeal ligament. It is supplied mainly by S4 through inferior rectal nerve. The deep part receives fibers from the nerve to the elevator ani. It usually contracts to maintain continence when the internal sphincter is relaxed, except during defecation. Internally, the superior half of the mucous membrane has the anal columns. The anorectal junction is indicated by the end of these columns, and it is where the rectum joins the anal canal. The end of the anal columns are joined by the anal bulbs. Superior to this, we have small recesses called anal sinuses. When compressed by feces, the sinuses exude mucus. We have four phases of defecation. The basal phase, this phase is the one that will lead up to defecation. The pre-defecatory phase, that is 1 hour before, in here we will find the urge. In here the colon, rectum, anus, extrarectal tissue, and the puborectalis has a role with the receptors responsible for this. In the colon, it occurs consoling contractions in its proximal part, then it migrates distally. The rectum is the primary site of the origin of the defecatory urge. The distension of the rectum produces a graded sensory response. The constant sensation will be replaced by the urge and after that, a sense of discomfort. The expulsive phase, the phase of colonic contents and rectal contents evacuation, affected by the elevation in intrarectal pressure and relaxation of the pelvic floor and anal canal. Evacuation is affected by voluntary straining and cooperative colorectal contractions. We have reflex inhibition of pelvic floor tonic activity. Adequate pelvic floor relaxation is necessary for effective evacuation. During this phase, the anal canal relaxation also occurs. The termination of defecation. This is semi-voluntary. It is voluntary because of the sense of complete rectal emptying, and involuntary because of the contraction of the external anal sphincter and pelvic floor, which closes the anal canal and reverses the pressure gradient towards the rectum. By the closing reflex, it provides the internal sphincter time to recover the tone. Once straining ceases and intra-abdominal pressure falls, the postural reflex in the pelvic floor is reactivated. This contracts the puborectalis, which increases its traction on the anorectal junction, returning the angle to basal state. Relaxation of the conjoint longitudinal muscle elongates the anal canal and allows the anal cushions to passively distend, resulting in the full closure of the anal canal.